Today, we're taking on a really focused task.
We are.
Our mission, really, is to look at just one very concise source, the public memorial statement about Charlie Kirk, and we want to try and pull out, every bit of context and meaning we can from just those few lines.
Exactly. And it's important context here. We're dealing with an in memoriam piece.
All right, so the emotional tone is serious. It's solemn from the get-go.
It is. But our goal isn't just to sort of observe the sadness. We're analyzing how this public acknowledgement is built. What does this very specific, very brief statement actually tell us? About the situation, the relationships involved. When you have so little text, every word counts, doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
Choices, the details included, even how it was delivered, it all becomes data. So we're treating it less as just an outpouring of sorrow and more like a deliberate communication, designed to confirm certain facts, convey a certain relationship.
Okay.
We need to respect its brevity, but maximize what we learn from it.
And the specific source we're diving into today is an excerpt from that public acknowledgement. Specifically, it's the reaction provided by Kai Trump. So let's start right there at the beginning. Let's unpack that immediate emotional response.
Okay.
The statement kicks off with a really clear expression of, deep sadness. Kai Trump says, "I am deeply saddened to hear the news about Charlie Kirk." And then frames this whole period as a tragic time. That's quite a strong opening.
It is very strong. And what's interesting, maybe strategically interesting, is the immediacy it suggests. This feels like a very quick, high-profile confirmation that, yes, the loss has happened.
Right. It serves that public function.
Exactly. It establishes that immediate connection and, you could say, ownership of the grief response. When you see a public figure react so quickly, using language like deeply saddened, it validates the news, but also tells the public something important.
What's that?
That this isn't being treated as some distant professional matter. It's being framed as a profound personal loss. So the text isn't just confirming the death. It's confirming the impact on the person sending the message.
That's a really key distinction, professional respect versus, actual personal grief. And that leads us, I think, straight to the next really crucial detail in the source material, which is how the relationship itself is described.
Yes, this is where the source gives us vital context for that initial feeling, that sadness. The statement explicitly calls Charlie Kirk a close family friend to Kai Trump.
Okay, close family friend. Why is that specific term so important here? Why not just say friend or maybe ally or something like that?
Well, that particular phrasing, close family friend, it does a lot of heavy lifting, especially in sort of public and political circles.
How so?
It's quite specific. It consciously places the relationship outside the usual sphere of public life, which can sometimes feel, transactional or purely professional.
Ah, I see.
It grounds the connection in something different. Shared family history, personal bonds. That gives more weight, more legitimacy to how deep the expressed sadness is. By framing it as familial, it sort of answers the unspoken question, why is Kai Trump specifically putting out such a prominent and heartfelt statement?
Right. It establishes the why.
Yeah. It signals this relationship wasn't just about shared causes or politics. It was supposedly woven into their personal lives.
That makes a lot of sense. It provides a clear personal reason for the statement right away. So moving on from the immediate grief and the relationship status, the acknowledgement then pivots, doesn't it? It turns towards the surviving family.
Yes, that's a standard but structurally essential part of these kinds of statements.
And the condolence isn't generic. It actually identifies who the sympathy is directed toward.
Right. The text focuses that initial wave of public sympathy onto a very specific group. It names the wife, Erika.
Erika, okay.
And it specifies that there are 2 children.
Okay, so if we're really sticking to our mission here, maximizing the information, why is that level of detail significant? Including the wife's actual name, Erika, and the specific number, 2 children. Why not just say his family?
Well, the precision here is really quite important in modern public communication. Specificity often acts as a form of confirmation and also respect. By naming Erika, the statement validates her identity, her central role in this tragedy. That's one thing. But perhaps more critically, mentioning the exact number of children too, it really humanizes the loss further.
Right. It makes it more concrete.
Exactly. It's not just this abstract idea of the family. It's a specific, identifiable unit that's now facing this this huge gap. This kind of deliberate detail helps remove any ambiguity. It directs the audience's thoughts, their prayers, their condolences, right onto the people who are most directly bereaved. It's really a mechanism to focus public comfort.
Yeah, it creates a much clearer picture of the immediate tragedy. Okay, so let's try and tie this concise statement together, because there's also the sign-off to consider, which is interesting in itself.
Yes, the source ends with a fascinating blend, really,
Yeah.
of traditional solemnity and very contemporary digital language.
So.
You have the traditional farewell, rest in peace, Charlie. Very standard, very respectful, but it's immediately followed by the heartbreak emoji, the broken heart.
Ah, I saw that.
Okay.
Okay, so why the emoji? If the language before it was so carefully chosen, close family friend, wife Erika, specific numbers, why then close with this visual shorthand? Some might see that as, informal.
That's a great question. What's fascinating here, I think, is that the heartbreak emoji acts like a bridge.
A bridge.
Yeah, it kind of cuts through the inherent formality of a memorial statement. It delivers this raw, almost unfiltered emotional punch that pretty much everyone recognizes instantly, regardless of language or culture, in digital communication. That broken heart is arguably the strongest, quickest signal of immediate, personal, devastating loss. So choosing to pair that very solemn, traditional wish for peace with this very raw digital symbol, it suggests the statement is designed for maximum impact. It aims to be deeply resonant, yes, but also easily understood, easily digestible, and importantly, easily shareable across social media.
Maximizing reach and emotional effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's actually a highly effective way to communicate a depth of feeling very quickly in today's world.
Okay, so let's try to synthesize this. We started with just a few lines of text, quite emotionally charged, and through our analysis, we've confirmed not just the event, the passing, but also a specific kind of layered context around it. So stepping back, what does this single, concise public statement ultimately convey to someone trying to understand the event and the relationships involved? What are the key takeaways just from this source?
Right. If we pull together all the threads we've discussed based only on this specific text, we actually get quite a lot of insight. First, obviously, we confirm the passing of Charlie Kirk. That's the baseline. But importantly, it's not just presented as the passing of a public figure. He's positioned as someone deeply integrated into the personal, familial circle of the sender, Kai Trump. That's validated by the close family friend label.
Okay, got it.
Second, we get confirmed quite precise details about the immediate surviving family, his wife, named Erika, and specifically 2 children. And third, we understand the statement's primary function seems to be directing comfort and sympathy towards that named, defined family unit.
Using that blend of language we talked about.
Exactly. Using that mix of traditional respect and urgent digital emotion.
So this text isn't just expressing grief, it's performing a function, structuring the narrative, confirming personal context, and focusing the public response to the tragedy.
That's a really powerful illustration, actually, how much can be packed into just a few words. It shows how public figures, even when expressing sadness, use language very deliberately to shape perception and direct sympathy.
It really does. And this brings up an interesting point for you, the listener, to maybe think about when you encounter simile public statements.
If we accept that a primary goal here is comforting the bereaved family, how does strategically including those specific details, naming Erika, specifying 2 children, achieve that goal differently than, say, a more general message of condolence? Does that specificity somehow amplify the public's sense of shared loss? Or perhaps is it also partly a mechanism to reinforce the sender's own perceived closeness to the person who passed away? It's worth considering how those details function.
That's a great final thought to mull over, how language works in public grief. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We focused tightly today on structure, substance, and the social role of just one short public memorial statement. Hopefully, this gives you a clear sense of just how much information, how much intent can be contained in even the briefest public communications. Until next time.